Hi there, my name is Moira McDonald and today I'm going to make a small card. This is intended as a greeting card, but that doesn't mean to say that it can't be used as a concept for a wee card within, say, a junk journal or something like that. You can have a look and see what you think. This is probably, if you watch my videos, a different style from what you're used to seeing me do, because normally I do all vintage stuff, but in this particular instance I would like to use some of the Gorjuss by Santoro range of stamps. What I've done is I've cut a circular tag using a die from watercolour paper, and I've also cut a slightly bigger sized circle from black cardstock to use as a kind of matting layer when I go to put this together. So first thing I want to do is I want to stamp onto the actual watercolour card. Now in this particular instance I'm planning on having, in fact I maybe need to move that up a bit, I'm planning on having my Gorjuss girl. I'm not going to get the whole body in because the stamp itself for this particular card is too big. So what I'll do is take the stamp and position her. Bear with me, I need to put my head over it so I can make sure I've got her in the centre. So the whole body of the girl isn't going to be on the card. Now I removed the felt pad that comes with my Stamp Perfect on the basis that in this particular instance it is a red rubber stamp and it has a cushioned layer on it, so I don't need to have the extra cushioning, and it just makes it not really stamp terribly well when you go to put it down. So I'll stamp her first. I'm going to watercolour her, so I want to make sure I get the best impression over that I can, and that's why I'm using a stamping tool rather than just battering in with a normal stamp. I mean, obviously you can just stamp as normal, but what I have found with these is they're fairly delicate fine stamps, I have to say, so they benefit from a wee bit extra pressure, and it's not always possible to get that in the first go. Like I say though, I've said this in past videos, the actual stamping tool, this particular one by Hampton Arts, wasn't overly expensive for what it was, and I got the 6x6 version, which is the smallest, or at least was, I don't know if they do anything smaller now, but it was the smallest one you could get at the time, and again was bought purely because at that point in time making cards was all I did, and there was no point in buying a great big one, plus I didn't have the money, quite frankly. You know what it's like, you're always economising, so you don't want to throw away your cash on something if you don't really need to. So anyway, that's us stamped the image, ready to be watercoloured. Put the stamp away in its wee box. That's my card ready. Now what I want to do before I stamp her is I have used the Inkadinkado masking paper. Again, I've used that in stamping in the past, if you look back in some of the videos. This effectively allows me to cover her over and colour a little bit of the background. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to stick it to my jumper first just to be on the safe side, to make sure it doesn't peel off my girl. And then I'm going to put it over her so that I can colour in the background. Now I'm going to use Distress Ink Salty Ocean, just a wee one, and this is actually a painter's brush from a decorating hardware shop. I also have the set of Clarity Stamp brushes, which were £20 for 4. They're pretty good, I have to say. This works exactly the same, and I got it for something like £3.99, just buying the one out of I actually got it in my shop one week because they had a wee kind of hardware bit in the shop. And I'm going to use this just to provide a bit of background for my wee girl. It will be very, very faint. It's quite similar in many respects to using a blending tool, but enables you to be much, much, much lighter handed. And in that respect I really quite like it. What I would say, having used it with Distress Oxides the other day, is it works better with Distress Ink, because with the Distress Oxides you're using a lot more kind of pigment, and it goes on a bit patchier, whereas when you're doing this, using this Distress Ink, the colour doesn't fly on, and it provides for a much lighter finish. I'm going in every direction simply because I'm wanting to cover it. I'm not looking for artist quality here. I'm just a wee woman making a card. I'm not sitting here like Vincent van Gogh trying to paint something. It is literally, I'm no colourist, but I do find when you colour in watercolour wise, it's quite a relaxing wee thing to do, and I quite enjoy it. Just going to clean that off a wee bit because I don't want salty ocean everywhere. Right, just check my hands are okay, and they are. And I've put away my stamping tool without the magnets, so we'll open that up again and put them back. Certainly wouldn't want to lose my magnets. Right, now I need to try and get this off delicately, ideally without damaging her, and I think we're okay. I mean, it's left obviously an impression on the masking paper, but that's not the end of the world. I can put the cover back on that and probably use it again at some point in future, if I'm doing another thing. Right, putting that down the wrong way around. Yeah, that's it. Right, now we're going to get to the colouring bit. When it comes to her face, I'm going to use a Zig Clean Colour Real Brush Marker, and this one is Flesh Colour. I find that what I'm actually planning on using to colour her is pencils that are watercolour pencils, but they don't have a flesh colour among them. So in that respect, if I'm wanting skin tone and it being, in this instance, Caucasian skin tone, I'll use what they call flesh colour. Right, that's fine, that's our face done. Now we're going to colouring a dress. Now, I'm using Derwent Ink Tense. Bought the 12 pack because I didn't have the money to buy the bigger one. Generally speaking, you can get past without too much difficulty with 12. Her hair, I'm going to do a kind of light brown. Now, what you can do with these is you can just apply your colour straight there and then go over it with a watercolour pencil to make it blend a wee bit. Or, if you're like me, I like to take the colour onto my brush and apply it from there to her hair. When I first started watching card making videos, apart from the fact that I was really interested in stamping videos, because I wanted to learn how to make a better job of stamp. I would watch people colouring in, and my husband would walk into the room and say, "What are you watching?" To which my response was, "Well, paint drying." Because that literally is pretty much what you're doing. You're watching the paint go on and the paint dry. And that's okay, because it, you know, I find at the moment I suffer quite badly from depression, and the last video I made, I did want to, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very conscious of the fact that if I don't push myself to do things, I will do nothing if I can avoid it. And I don't want to function in life like that. I do want to try and just, you know, at least be able to do something. So I did the video, but I really just wasn't in the mood for talking. Still not really in the mood for talking. So I put the music on it, and it made it a wee bit easier for me. But watching this, or doing this, is very relaxing, generally, until you go over the lines and then you lose the rag. I'm quite good at losing the rag. I've found from experience that applying the colour like this is, it's just easier for me, quite frankly. I mean, I'm not that highly skilled when it comes to colouring in. You know, I'm not one of these folk that can work with the likes of Copic markers. I would like to, but they're too expensive, and that might be a step too far for me, because if I can't sell what I make, I can't afford to buy anything else, and I've got a house full of stuff that I could do with moving. So in that respect, Copic's will need to wait quite a wee while, I think. If I ever win the pools, I'll buy a big set of Copic markers, because they're meant to be absolutely brilliant. Jam hot, one might say. I would actually say something else, but I'll use the phrase jam hot now, because I don't want the object of this lesson is not to get people to turn away in droves. When I'm applying this, I'm quite far away from what I'm working on, because the last time I did this, and I hadn't realised, I was actually flicking paint onto my picture, so it looked like a wee dotty background. And in the event, I mean, as luck would have it, it did look okay, but that was as luck would have it, that it looked okay. It wasn't designed to be that. Right, I think I want to just apply a wee bit more here. Make the good thing is, see if you're doing something like this, the way the stamp has been constructed, where the image is darker, it's intended that your colour be darker when you're colouring it in. So, you know, at the top of your hair here, it's clearly meant to be a darker shade of whatever colour you decide to make it. Brown obviously is the easiest, as is black when it comes to colouring in. Right, I'll leave her hair at that at the moment, put that one away. Got a paper towel for cleaning my brush. If I were using a normal brush, I would just wash it out at this point. Right, that's that colour off. Now all I really need to do, I've just realised that I didn't fill in her neck with flesh colour. There we go. She's got little flowers in her hair and a dress. What colour will we make them? Shall we make, I think we'll make the colours in her hair fuchsia. Now I'll need to be very delicate here because the flowers in her hair are very small, so we don't want to overdo it, and we can, if we're really lucky, fill in the centre of the flowers with a different colour. But we'll need to be very light-handed. We could just leave them white. And she's got one in her dress as well, so I need to colour that the same colour. And there's a band, so we shall colour that too. And that's that. What I do want to do is try and get a wee bit of the colour off the brush, because I did slightly go over up here. So if I wet that, I'll try to blend it into the hair so that it's not screamingly obvious. Get the light brown again that I used for her hair. We'll just touch that up slightly and about the flowers. Right, do we feel brave enough to try and tackle the centres of those flowers? And I would say aye, we do. So I'm going to use yellow. I don't think it's going to scream out at you, but we'll see what we can do. I think from my point of view it's a psychological thing at this point, you know, that I'm done something to the centre of the flowers. That'll do us. Right, now our dress. I thought it might be nice if she had a kind of blue dress, but my blue is quite dark. What I do have, bear with me a second, is can't get them without moving this chair. I have a set of other watercolour pencils that I bought second hand on eBay. This is the first time I've used these. So we'll see how this goes. These don't have names, these only have numbers. And they're all by Derwent. The Derwent pencil factory is in Cumbria. And we went on holiday to Cumbria. And visited the pencil museum. In fact, we've visited it a few times. Can't say I don't know how to have a good holiday. It was, I mean, it's interesting. It's not really, despite what they would have you believe, a day out. But it was pleasant enough. At the time that we first went, they made great bones about, there's a cartoon here called The Snowman, and the chap who had drawn it had used Derwent pencils, watercolour pencils I think, or Derwent pencils anyway, to colour in this cartoon, or at least the book when he did the first images for it. So you get to see a wee bit of the video and the tour of the thing, and they explain the mining of graphite and the colouring process and basically the history of the coloured pencil. My son at the time, well, I mean, he was quite young, but he liked drawing, and he was very, very good at drawing, and we thought artistically that would be the way we'd go. But in the event, he decided to focus more on music. The way the school's set up, it was a either or situation, do you know what I mean? You either studied music or you studied art, so he went with music. And again, as luck would have it, he was very good at music. In fact, he's not unlike his mother in that he tackles things and succeeds. When he went to university, I must admit I was really concerned, because I thought, see, if you decide to study music, what on earth are you going to do in the future? But he didn't. He decided he wanted to do English, which again took me aback at the time, because he was very good at, not so much counting, but at working things out, so I thought his path was going to lie in mathematics or science. But instead he decided to go with English. So he did an honours degree in English and journalism with creative writing, because he wants to write. And it does actually, he does write for a variety of websites at the moment, and he's quite happy doing that. So, you know, that's fine. He's doing what he wants, and that's all that really matters. That's all a parent really wants, isn't it? To know their child's happy doing what they want in life. Right, I kind of went over the colour there. I think that's actually meant to be her arms, and in that respect meant to be flesh coloured. So I'll take the flesh colour down there. Right, it does look very watercoloury. When you do watercolouring, you don't really get, you don't get hard and fast colour. It's always very shaded, patchy. But it is what it is. Right, I think that's me having coloured her. Put this one back. Now in an ideal world I'd give her time to dry, but at the same time I need to get her stuck in a card. So get my black circle, turn her over, and I think what we'll actually do is we'll use this art glitter glue to stick her on. If I was doing a square panel, chances are I would use what do you call it? Tape. But in my infinite wisdom I have made it circular. Just hold that in place for a wee minute to make sure it's stuck. Get my card. I've got to colour it. Now stick this to the card, so I need to get my glue again. And you know what I know without fear of contradiction? I have a subscriber who is going to love this, because I have a subscriber who, like myself, is not a one-horse pony, a one-horse kind of gal, and that would be our Anne. Hello Anne. Anne is a friend from Instagram, and Anne makes cards, and she does a lot of other things as well, and in that respect I know she appreciates the work that goes into stuff. Right, there we go, that's us. So there's my little girl all coloured in with her background, matted and layered on black, and that's my card. And the card goes into the little envelope where it sits and gets filed away until it's sold. Well, to be fair, I'll take it out and photograph it so that I can put it on Etsy. Oh, Etsy, did I tell you my website? And I did. But just in case you're sitting thinking, no Moira, what is your Etsy address? That's it. See you later, folks. Bye. Bye.